Hello and welcome. This is Goobarberty. Hi. As you may know, Diablo 3 has this new feature called Challenge Rifts. Well, it's currently in Challenge 2 right now, the second one. And in this video, I'll be breaking down all the skills, abilities, gems, passives, powers, all that stuff, just for you, the dear viewer. This current Necromancer build has the full 6-item Inarius set. The 6-item bonus is that Bone Armor also activates a Swirling Tornado of Bone, which deals 750% weapon damage and increases the damage of the Necromancer by 2,750%. Your main combat consists of Grim Scythe and Death Nova, your resource generating and resource spending abilities, and you finish off large amounts of enemies with Corpse Explosion by standing in the middle of the dead bodies. You want to Blood Rush teleport into the middle of a large group. At that point, you activate Bone Armor, which also happens to activate Tornado of Bone, damaging enemies for 750% weapon damage, increasing the Necromancer damage by 2,750%. Once you're in the middle of the group and you've activated Bone Armor, you then alternate between the Grim Scythe and Death Nova until most of the group is dead. You want to reactivate Bone Armor one more time just to make sure you have your stacks all up, and then you want to kill them all off with Corpse Explosion. Once you are at an elite or boss, you then want to activate Land of the Dead. Land of the Dead is skill number 4. Land of the Dead has a 2-minute cooldown, but it allows for your corpse skills to be used at will for 10 seconds. It just so happens that we have Corpse Explosion, dealing a lot of damage, which normally takes corpses, but now you can just spam that thing. So what you want to do is whenever you encounter a boss or elite, you want to think about casting Land of the Dead, and then quickly, as fast as possible, spam as many corpse explosions as you can within that 10 seconds. It's a 2-minute cooldown. To reduce that, we have the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Whenever Death Nova, skill number 3, hits, it reduces the cooldown of one of my skills by 1 second, which happens to be Land of the Dead, enabling you to do this ability much more often. You just want to be really smart and use this ability wisely, because this can make or break your time. You have to use this whenever you don't have enough bodies laying around. For this Necromancer's powers, the Furnace is being used. This increases damage against elites by 50%. So, damage increased against elites by 50%. Primary skills that generate resource deal 100% additional damage. So, the Grim Scythe deals additional damage, okay? You deal 100% increased damage against slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies affected by any other type of control impairing effect. So we have the Grim Scythe, Corpse Explosion, Bone Armor, and Death Nova all dealing poison damage. Every time that you poison an enemy, they're being slowed down. Every single time. So all poison damage is adding towards this increased damage against slowed enemies. And so we have 100% additional damage against slowed enemies. And the Death Nova deals a lingering patch of blight on the ground, which causes a 60% slow. Okay. With the legendary gem Bane of the Trapped, increased damage against enemies under the effects of control impairing effects by 26%. In addition, the Gogok of Swiftness is being used, increasing the attack speed in general, and you gain a 1% cooldown reduction per stack of Swiftness. So every attack gives you a stack of Swiftness. The Swiftness increases your cooldown reduction. And finally, we have the legendary dagger, the Yuan Zhangdo. Enemies below 70% life are frozen for 3 seconds. So that all adds towards that increased damage against enemies under control impairment, and the Charisman sentence enemies that are slowed and controlled have 100 to 300% damage increase against them. Each time that you use Blood Rush, it's hurting you for 5% health. It's costing 5% health. But right here we have a passive that says after losing 100% health, all cooldowns are reduced by 20%. So every time that you use your Blood Rush, it's adding towards cooldown reduction. Seems complicated, but it's really not. We basically teleport around. Once I teleport into a group, I'm going to immediately cast Bone Armor. And then I'm going to spam left click and number 3. So I'm going to teleport in with right click, cast Bone Armor with number 2, cast Death Nova with number 3, and then left click for Scythe. And then I'm trying to keep it balanced in here because your essence does not build back up. I'm spamming left click and number 3, Death Nova. Not much damage, okay? But if I activate Bone Armor, I have this Bone Armor tornado around me. And you see, as long as you got the armor up, the enemy dies really fast. So that's all there is. All you have to do is you teleport in, cast Bone Armor, and then you spam left click and number 3. That's it. But as you saw, left click Grim Scythe and number 3 Death Nova don't do that much damage until you have the Bone Armor active, which is this Bone Tornado right here. See, now my Bone Armor wore off right now, and this guy here so as you see, Bone Armor is absolutely essential. So whenever it's active, you spam 3 and left click. That's it, okay? Generate with left click, spend with 3. And your big damage dealer is your number 1. The Corpse Explosion does 525% weapon damage. So you see there's a body right here. So when we have a group over here, I'm going to teleport in, use Bone Armor, spam left click and number 3, finish off with Corpse Explosion. So teleport in, Bone Armor, number 3, left click. As long as I have 15 stacks going on of Bone Armor, I'm good. I keep recasting it every so often, but you don't have to spam it. You're just spamming left click and number 3. Okay? See, it should take me a couple hits of left click and number 3 to kill these guys. But I know that if I press number 1, they'll all die in an instant. See? See, the bodies are over there. I have to stand near the bodies. See, I press 1 right here, it does nothing. If I'm next to the bodies, they'll explode. And then to kill big guys, and you keep hitting blood rush in between enemies, you hit number 4, and then you spam 1, see? So that was me using Land of the Dead and Corpse Explosion. It's really fast, and that's how you do it. That's basically it. The rest is just knowing how the map works. Thanks for watching. In my next video, I'll be breaking down the Challenge Rift maps, helping to identify the most efficient route from beginning to end, while also identifying the locations of the pylons and elites. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.